would like to tell you a little story which is the first thing I ever remember, and which I think gives an idea of the sort of gifts that Annie would show throughout her life. I am told that I had been misbehaving badly all day, and especially during the Christmas dinner. Of course, I don't remember anything about that. But suddenly, and I remember this clearly, suddenly and very quietly, Annie appeared beside me and took me by the hand and led me towards the door, through the inner door, along a short passage, and out through the outer door. And she said to me, "You do know how to be good, don't you?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, be good. Now I'm going back in and leaving you here, and you think about being good and how to be good, and somebody will come out soon, perhaps my father, perhaps Barbara, our older sister, and if you've been good, you'll get back inside." And she went in and closed the door, and there was I. It wasn't a cold day, it was a nice Christmas day. It was calm and sunny. And I looked round and began to ponder on things. And our dog, which was in a kennel not very far away in a sheltered corner, came sneaking out of his kennel on his belly and jumped up and wagging his tail and wagging his whole body, and obviously delighted to see me. And beside the kennel there was a heap of clean dry straw, and we both went over to it and sat down. And I was pondering about how to be good, and I don't know what Ben, the black collie-type dog, was pondering. Anyway, not very long after, my father and Barbara came out. My father was a big man, big and burly and over 6 feet, 6'1", I think. And he said to me, "Well, Willie, what are you thinking now?" "No." And I said, and then he says, have you been thinking about how you should be to be good?" And I said, "Yes, I have. And I'm sorry." And he looked, I remember him looking at me for a long time. And then he said, well, you can go in now. But remember always what your best friend and your sister Annie said to you. Will you? I'll try. and he took me back in. And I think that wee story gives some indication of the sort of gifts that my sister Annie had and would show all her life. Then, this was wartime almost, and soon there was a big naval hospital in the field next to the farm, and lots of the staff almost every night came to visit us. And Anne, by this time, had been at the Teachers Training College in Aberdeen and had qualified as a teacher. And her first job was actually not what she was qualified for at all, but a subject that she had shown interest in and was good at while in her last years at school, and that was science. And the head of the department must have recommended her for this job when the when the teacher was called up, volunteered and was called up. So she taught science, the very first job, up to the third year, and I think she did very well at it. And after that, she had 2 teaching posts in her own island of Hawaii, one in the school at Brims. Brims is quite near, is the area where most of the lifeboat, Long Hope lifeboat men came from. And then, after a year or so, 2 years, a vacancy came up at North Walls Public School, where she had been a pupil, and there being one head teacher in Brims, I think they decided he or she would be enough during the wartime, but the bigger North Walls School would need 2 teachers, and Anne was appointed as the junior mistress, which she filled that post for several years. And she was a gifted teacher, I think, and very good with bringing on the less gifted pupils. And she, of course, as you know, was she didn't get married, but she had, that didn't mean to say that she had no boyfriends. And there were a lot of young men on the staff at the hospital from all over Britain. And I clearly remember 2 of them. One of them was a Welshman, of course we called him Taffy, and one was a Cornish man. And that one, it was, I think they were very fond of one another, but they didn't get married, and stayed Miss Annie or Ms. Annie for the rest of her days. And